Hello and welcome to your topic introduction on the physical aspect. So what I'm hoping that you're starting to understand is seeing the physical, the mental, the spiritual as energy bodies that are malleable, that are able to be improved, optimized, changed, and adjusted based on the inputs that we put in, as well as the other relating factors like the physical being affected by the mental and the spiritual. So the physical aspect is really our foundation. It's the aspect that allows you to incarnate into this world. It's the most tangible, so there is parts of it that are solid, whereas obviously the mind, we can't see that, and the spiritual, we can't see that. And that's why I think putting the physical as your first priority is important. One, it's the foundation, but two, typically when we work from the most dense, the most tangible, the most measurable, and then work up to the more subtle, and Maslow's hierarchy would seem to validate that logic. What is the physical aspect made up of? So in the West, we tend to look at the physical aspect in a compartmentalized manner, where we've got organs and systems, heart, endocrine, muscular, immune, digestive. And now all of these are useful ways in their right place, but it can fall into looking at things in a little bit too much in a compartmentalized, dissected way. There is benefit knowing these different ways of looking at the body and what all the different systems, organs, functions are. But I think for the physical aspect to be optimal, these two intents are the important focuses. The ability to have a good degree of energy capacity, and also for that energy to flow freely and abundantly. Energy flow. We then look at what are the things that will contribute to these two things. And really, I think these five main areas: movement, hydration and eating, sleep, rest and recovery, and stress management. Now, we could definitely go many different angles with that, but really, as an introduction to holistic health, those five areas are going to keep you well on track. In my own journey, I have experienced contrast of the physical aspect, to say the least. In fact, honestly, I've experienced that in all of three aspects. But the physical aspect is definitely something that I have journeyed a lot with. So for perhaps the last 12 years, maybe more, I've been going through cycles of lowered health, higher health, and I was fortunate growing up, riding my bike to school every day. I had a fairly high degree of health to start off with, and then through unhealthy lifestyle and habits, I eroded my health. At one point, I was unable to wake up in the morning, and having the time to wake up when I felt like, I actually got to the point that I wasn't getting out of bed until 6 p.m. every night, and I'd miss the supermarket every day and have to shop at the petrol station. Do not recommend. Then at another point, years later, I went through chronic fatigue symptoms where after a 200-meter walk, my legs would get sore, my heart would start to beat, and it felt like I couldn't pump enough blood through my body, and I'd have to retreat home and just lie in bed for 4 hours to recover. That brings its own set of challenges for the mental aspect, and emotional, of course. But I see that there was a greater purpose in experiencing that. And fortunately, because of this large contrast, I've been able to really dissect what is it that contributes to a high degree of health? What is it that takes it away? What does it feel like to feel abundant in health? And how does it feel to not have health? And I think that's really beneficial for me to be able to meet anyone where they're at. Having had such lows and such highs, it makes me a lot more able to understand. So I can definitely say when your physical aspect is in check, it makes life a lot easier. You have the capacity and the ability to do things that you want, and when you do them, you recover quickly and you can get back to it. It enhances your productivity, and it just generally gives you more energy that when you show up and meet with people, you can bring your best self forward. So I am looking forward to diving into that next week, and until then, I'll meet you in the next topic introduction.